Presents Common Censored. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Common Censored.
Yes, your boy Truck Fit Dre.
And I'm Lord Sterling, and it is a beautiful Saturday. Am I right? Is that the right day? It's a Saturday. Yeah, salt stream last night. It must be. It's all a blur, dude. It's all a blur. How's your weekend so far?
It's been a pretty good day, bro. I had some time to go fellowship. Got out and caught an Uber. Yeah, bro, it's been a pretty good day. Beautiful weather. Of course, it's like 76 degrees outside, you know.
Nice.
Can't beat it.
You see what Edward's saying
at all. I bet it's so hot, guy.
I got my my Obama joke shirt on today, where they took hope and changed it to
changed it
joke.
Joke.
Yeah. Yeah. So here we are. We got some fun stuff to cover as usual. We can start off with some good news regarding the whole ATF pistol brace ban situation, which has been a nightmare for legal gun owners. Have you heard about that whole situation?
No, I remember the whole stock ban, when it came to the mass shooting that happened at the Mandalay Bay, I believe, back in Nevada, where they banned the pump action stock, to where you shoot and it nearly turns it into from a semi-automatic
Bump
to
stock?
automatic. Yeah, the bump stock. There you go. But I wasn't
the old
too
bump stocks.
up
Interestingly, we'll go over it in a sec. But the old bump stocks would straight up turn your firearm into an automatic. The newer ones, you still have to be pulling the trigger repeatedly, but it like accelerates fire. So even like the new ones shouldn't even fall under the category of automatic weapons, which is ridiculous in the first place. The NFA is patently unconstitutional. So good question. You could probably find it online, Edward. If I could find a link to it, I'll post it in the comments. It will highly trigger people for sure. I may or may not have graffitied hope and change signs that were in Boston during the 2008 presidential race. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, so let me try again to pull up my screen here. Screen share kind of glitched out on me. Okay, here we go. Whoops. So we're over here with the pistol brace situation, and basically what the ATF was doing is that they were, there's the butt stocks, regular butt stocks like this, and then there are what are called pistol braces, which are for pistols. They look like a butt stock, but they kind of open and they wrap around your forearm, and you strap it on. But if you leave it closed with the strap attached, it's basically the same thing as a stock. So if you take an AR pistol, and you put a pistol brace on it, it effectively turns it into a rifle. And there's been kind of like a workaround for in Connecticut, at least where I live, where you can't buy ARs. They don't allow them, but they created like a whole separate category called like I can't remember what the like unknown or something, and it's ARs basically with a pistol brace, and people were allowed to buy them, but the ATF, without congressional authorization, came through and basically is creating laws illegally on their own, whether it's bump stocks or whether it's pistol braces. They're coming up with these arbitrary regulations that effectively are then enforced as law. So it's legal according to the laws, in Connecticut to have these AR hybrid pistol brace, pistol rifle type things. But then the ATF comes and arbitrarily changes what they're allowing, and now they're not available in Connecticut anymore, for instance. But let's jump into this article because we have some positive developments on this front. Hopefully, we're going to get a lot of good Second Amendment stuff with this current Supreme Court that we have. So, federal judge smacks down Biden's ATF's AR-15 gun ban, and that's a little bit deceptive because we're talking about the pistol braces, but we'll get into it. A Trump-appointed federal judge just smacked down an attempt by Biden's ATF to ban AR-15 pistols with arm braces. It's amazing. No matter how bad crime gets, the Democrat left is still intent on trying to disarm law-abiding Americans. Gun sales are through the roof right now as Americans were horrified by the attacks on mostly unarmed Israelis by Hamas in October. Yeah, which is crazy. It just goes to show you how dangerous it is to open yourself up to attack by willingly disarming yourself. So the Washington Examiner reported a federal judge late Wednesday gave millions of gun owners breathing room when he slammed the Biden administration's effort to ban a big slice of the AR-15 market. U.S. District Court Judge Matthew Kaczmarek blocked the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, which shouldn't exist, from enforcing its ban on AR-15 style pistols equipped with arm braces, calling the agency's new rule unlawful, completely unlawful. They don't have the authority to be legislating from a department under the executive branch. How do you feel about them claiming this authority and doing this over and over?
It's basically like they want, the law-abiding American citizens to be unarmed, and therefore, when the attacks, that our governmental agencies tell us that are imminent come, there could be more people to die, which would therefore, allow them to easily disarm Americans even more. You know what I mean?
Yep. And escalate the plan for just total takeover, police state.
Yeah, which I would think that if more Americans with legal firearms to help protect our homeland, because our law agencies can't do everything, right? Like our sheriff's departments, our local police departments, like we can't, depend on them to do everything, right? I think that to be a good American citizen, you also have to be willing to protect your homeland, and also be law abiding while you're doing that. So I just feel bad for, the people out there who are law abiding citizens who literally have to hear about, another one of their Second Amendment freedoms being taken away. Every 3 to 6 months, we hear about some type of ban, some type of new authorization for a new law that would therefore help them take away your freedom and your right to bear arms. So I'm happy that the judge shot this down. People are just getting tired of these agencies making up laws as they go that suits them and fits their narrative and makes them more comfortable. I know if I worked for one of those agencies and I was an agent, like the more Americans with guns, that's the better I would feel, because it's less stress and less of a job that we have to do if we know that we have law-abiding citizens that's willing to protect the homeland. So
yeah, big time. And that's one of the major problems is the spreading out of our resources so much that like we have 900 plus overseas military bases, and that prevents us from adequately defending our own borders. If we're defunding the police and spreading our resources thinner, and our citizenry doesn't have the power to fight back, then that further exacerbates the problem, like you were saying.
yes, sir.
Pretty crazy stuff. So the public safety concerns must be addressed in ways that are lawful. This rule is not, said the Trump-appointed judge. The 9-page decision is the latest to challenge the ATF over its rule requiring millions of owners of braced guns to register the firearms and pay a $200 tax or face 10 years in jail. Kazmarek's
That's
decision.
crazy.
Yeah, and the craziest part, as I get into here, I was going to say it, but I'll just read it. Basically, at issue is the ATF's rule issued earlier this year to ban the braces on guns. The agency claims it turns a pistol into a dangerous rifle. Ooh. And supporters have cited how the weapons have been used in a handful of mass shootings. However, for years before its ban, the ATF allowed the braces to be sold, specifically said they're okay, and encouraged their use. And they have become so common that more than 40 million or more are in circulation, making the AR-style pistol one of the most commonly held firearms in the nation. So this is an attempt to criminalize a large portion of Americans unlawfully and without legislation. It's a massive, massive power grab. And the whole idea that by making a gun more accurate, you're making it more dangerous is the opposite of reality.
Hey,
If you know, like, right, if your gun is less accurate, then it's more dangerous to people in
exactly.
general. By
Exactly.
yeah, like, it'll be more dangerous to the targets, but for everybody else, it'll be less dangerous by far, reducing the possibility of collateral damage, which is one of those euphemisms that the left likes to use for dead civilians, basically.
Right,
It's like,
right. Yeah, we all know, we all heard of the term bullets don't have no names, but if there is a tool that I could use to add on to, my legal firearm that helps me hit the target, then I would think that it would make, the firearm that I'm holding safer to
right, and
use.
it makes the people safer too, because, for instance, let's say you're handicapped, right? And in a wheelchair. The AR platform is one of the easiest and most accurate platforms for anybody to use. It can take somebody who's at a massive disadvantage in a physical conflict, whether you're like, have dwarfism, or whether you're handicapped with no legs, wheelchair bound, and it can level the playing field between you and the potential aggressors by
Right.
giving, multiplying your power. So it's less dangerous to people as a whole by being more accurate. Like, if you had a nuclear bomb that that you couldn't control the accuracy, that just makes it even more dangerous than just a regular nuclear bomb, because who knows what it's
Right.
going to do, right? So the same
Right.
principle applies with rifles and with firearms. The more accurate, the more precision they are, the less dangerous they are. But they're trying to push an inversion of that by saying it makes
Yeah.
everything more dangerous. So we have an interesting image here showing some pistol braces. This is a typical AR platform up top here with a pistol brace on the end, and then this one down here. This is a gun that I really like. That I want one of these. It's called a Chris Vector, and it has you can see the strap on the back. If you were to loosen that, this would open up like a V, basically, and wrap around your arm. I guess more like a U. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, the Chris Vector is really cool because it inside of this fat area in front of the trigger here, there's a
Uh-huh.
mechanism that takes the recoil when you shoot. It pushes the mechanism backwards and pushes this other mechanism downwards to create downward inertia to counteract the upward
The
recoil
upward
of the
recoil.
fire.
Right. So it
So
helps it stay, it helps it, basically it helps your aim. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
helps your aim
yeah,
big time, and
right.
the Chris Vector, KRISS, it's available in, pistol caliber platforms as well as in rifle caliber. All you gotta do is switch out this little front module, and you can, basically use a whole variety of calibers, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool. So now more than ever, people are concerned about protecting themselves and their families, yet the Democrats keep pushing to disarm. But we are seeing positive developments on that front.
Yeah.
So that is period.
Yeah, luckily that you know, the gun manufacturers and all of the ammo manufacturers are probably really deep in the judges' pockets, you know. So let's hope that, you know, some of the funds that they put into these judges' pockets are helping them keep these laws at bay, so there could still be a lot of legal gun owning Americans willing to defend the homeland at any cost. You know what I'm saying? Legally,
Definitely.
you know. I always got to say
Yes,
that word,
sir.
legally. You know?
Legally, yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
most
And if
definitely.
you want more information about how to do it legally, there is a great channel that I recommend called Law of Self-Defense on YouTube.
Great
Uh,
channel.
yeah, you know, what's his name?
I can't remember his name, but
Andrew
I,
Branca.
okay.
And he is like one of the leading Second Amendment self-defense lawyers in the nation. He's an expert at self-defense law in each of the 50 states and does cases all around the country. So he has real nuanced takes of trials regarding you know, self-defense issues, particularly regarding firearms. Highly
Yeah.
recommend looking through his you know, profile, his catalog of information for anybody who has not been there before. Is there any particular topic you want to get into at this moment?
Yeah, bro. Actually, there is a topic that I would like to touch. This has to do with Whoopi. Oh,
Oh,
Whoopi
whoopee,
Goldberg. Yeah, so
whoopee cushion.
let me let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's go to the Twitter thread. Boom.
Do it up,
And right here, develop a story. Whoopi Goldberg called millennials
brother.
who can't afford a home in Biden's America lazy. I'm sorry if you, and this is her statement. I'm sorry if you only want to work a few hours, it's going to be hard for you to get a house. Uh, I think that that is a bullshit broad statement because uh, there are a lot of millennials who are literally working 2 and 3 jobs and having to roommate just to
Right.
keep above water. You know what I'm
Just
saying? Just to be able to
completely
pay their bills and
oblivious.
live. Yeah, just completely
See,
oblivious. You know, we
yeah.
all. Oh, go ahead, bro. My bad.
Oh,
Go
no, no,
ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, the thing is with the boomer generation, right, is they grew up during a period where the dollar had a lot of value and gave them a
Mm-hmm.
lot of runway. So, like, in the
Right.
50s, for instance, right, you could work one job, have a wife working at home, have a father going out and working one job, and they could sustain a whole family, and they could be like a mechanic, you know, or like a janitor even, you know what I mean? Like, not to diss on either. We need mechanics, we need janitors. They literally are make everything better. But
Yeah.
like you can have lower paying jobs and still be able to support a whole family. And this is interesting. This is where the weakening of the dollar and feminism comes into play. We have a you know, the trend, they print more money, the dollar gets weaker. They've been doing it since the 30s, since really, yeah, since the 30s, and the dollar has been weakening the whole time. So they knew that following that trend, that a single income households would no longer be able to support families, right? So they
Right.
start promoting feminism and you know, the idea of female empowerment, putting women in the workplace, which is great if you want to do that. I don't have anything against that. But what I'm
Nothing
saying
at all.
here is that they used that to essentially trick women into their enslaving themselves voluntarily as a wage slave. And by tricking women to enter into the workforce, they created a lot more dual income family households, which prevented people from realizing that the dollar was becoming rapidly weaker for a longer period of time because suddenly there was more money coming into the houses. Uh,
Right.
and now we're at the point where people can really tell if they're trying to live on their own that it's like no longer will that one income be able to support you and your whole
Not at all.
family.
Not at
It's just
all.
interesting how they used feminism, in my opinion. I thought of this the other day, and it, like, kind of blew my mind. They tricked women into participating in the workforces to artificially or to, you know, to boost household income to make it to prolong the illusion that the dollar still had value. Uh,
Right.
and now it's, like,
And
all falling apart.
and back in her day, hardworking Americans were able to buy a home for between 60 and $100,000. Like
Exactly.
go try to buy a home for 60 and $100,000 right now, and
Right.
it's
Plus
gonna
the
be
dollar was
somewhere in
worth
a different.
more, you know?
Right. Yeah, it's like gonna be like you want to buy a house like that, you're gonna have to do it somewhere in fucking Acapulco, Mexico. Okay, like it's not gonna be in America. You know what I mean? And I just think that it's completely unfair that she would actually say this statement. And also, man, if you look at some of Whoopi Goldberg's interviews from back in the day, like she, was used to be for the people. Now she is totally big establishment and corporation, and it's just like,
Totally.
man, her evolution and how she has changed over the years is just mind blowing. They must be giving her a nice paycheck every week at the View, because man, she is not the same person that she used to be, as far as when she makes her views based upon American politics known every single day on the View, bro. It just blows my mind. She's just not the
Yeah.
same woman
Well, she's
that she
always been
used
a
to be.
faker, you know what I mean? Like her last name, for instance. I'm gonna preface this by saying I don't have any problem with Jews, you know.
But that
Some
is
of
a
my best
Jewish
friends,
that's a
right?
Jewish that's a Jewish name.
Exactly, but
Goldberg.
it's not her real last name. So she
What?
signaled, yeah, she signaled her intent to schmooze in with the elite class by changing her
Oh,
last name to a Jewish name so that she would, feign connection. Like
oh,
the whole issue with Kanye West and Dave Chappelle talking about, everybody like jokes about Jewish people running the media or Hollywood, and that we can talk about Italian mafias, we can talk about Irish mafias, right?
right,
If we talk shit about the Genoveses and the Gambinos, we're not talking shit about Italians as a whole. Italians are great people. Same with
right,
Irish mobs or whatever. Like we can talk about the mobs and we can acknowledge that there's mobs and that there's people. The same thing seems to be happening with the Jewish community. That there's a Jewish mafia with connections in big corporate entertainment media money, and they use the pre-existence of anti-Semitism, things like the Holocaust, as a shield, so that if anybody says anything about the Jewish mafia, not the Jewish people, the Jewish mafia, that they then deflect and say, oh, they're anti-Semitic, talking about Jews as a whole, these harmful
yeah,
tropes of Jews being involved with banks or the media or Hollywood. They're deflecting and diverting the actual argument, which is that there's a mafia, with a
right,
stranglehold on things, by saying, "Oh, you just hate Jewish people," when it's a false premise of their argument.
right,
You
yeah.
know, so
Yeah, like
it's
I don't hate anybody, you know what I'm saying?
right.
Like
We're
I don't hate.
individualists. It's
Exactly,
against
like
our whole philosophy to judge people based on the groups that they're in, unless it's an ideological group like leftism. You
right,
can, if they
right,
all agree on a philosophy, you can criticize that philosophy and
right,
criticize them for following it. But, black, white, Jewish, immutable characteristics, you have to judge people on an individual basis, obviously.
right. Yeah, yeah, you can't have a broad scope when it comes to, a group of people, or even a group of people that exist inside a religion or whatever the case may be. Like I don't like to, put people on a broad scope, and that's basically what she did with millennials. And I think that comment is not correct. We see millennials every other day making posts saying, "Hey, I went to college. I found a job that's in my work field, and I still can't make it. I still can't make it." So what does that say? You can't say that millennials are all lazy when a lot of them go to college and in institutions of higher learning, and they get their degrees, and then they go out into the workspace and realize, like, dang, I'm in debt to the financial. I'm in debt, to a financial institution, so I can pay back my loan for my education, and I'm working in the field that I thought was going to be my dream job, and I got to tread water. Basically, I'm damn near drowning, and now I got to get a second job, and now I have to have a roommate,
Yeah.
so I really feel like, somebody needs to pull their coattail and say, hey, Whoopi, that's not really the case here. Like, these millennials are working their asses off, There is a story
Yeah.
about a young lady who wanted to be an accountant, so she went to school and she got her degree, and now she is working as a waitress because she makes more money waiting tables than she does as an accountant. You know what I mean? And that's the field that she got her group in. This was on the Pat Beck David podcast, and it was about 3 weeks ago, and they were talking about this young lady. So I implore everybody to stop. We got to stop blaming each other and blame the system that we're placed under. You know what I mean? No matter if
Yeah.
you're liberal, no matter if you're black, white, no matter if you are of the Jewish faith, of the Christian faith, Muslim faith, whatever you are, we got to stop blaming each other and look at the systems that we are basically made to participate in. It's not just a broad statement for everybody. So I felt that it was important to talk about that and to let all of my millennials, know that, don't listen to, this hatred that's spewed out by Whoopi Goldberg. We all appreciate you for what you're doing and how you're contributing to society. And don't let her tell you with a broad stroke that, you guys are lazy. That's not right. I know that you guys work hard because I see you working hard every damn day. So
Yep.
yeah, I thought we should talk about that real quick.
Definitely, I agree. And oh shit. Oh god, I guess it's disconnected. So the screen changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree entirely. And like I mentioned, these people they were brought up in a time period when the dollar had value and people could do that, and they just don't realize because they've built up savings and that times have changed, and a $20 an hour salary doesn't get you to where it used to these days, unfortunately. Let's jump into our next topic. We've got Déjà Vu, another software issue blamed in Georgia's elections. Same symptoms as 2020 and 2022 elections. We're over here at Gateway Pundit.
Okay.
Georgia's elections are riddled with issues. Since the implementation of the new voter system in the Peach State, multiple counties have discovered extra votes in the 2020 presidential election during their mid-November
Damn.
2020 hand count. This includes 2,600 votes discovered in Floyd County, more than 2,700 votes in Fayette County, 282 in Walton, 293 in Douglas County. Investigative journalist Heather Mullins was on the ground in Floyd County and interviewed elections officials about the discrepancy as it was happening. Let's check it out.
Do we have a reason, explanation why those votes?
So there's no concrete, just to get it on the record, there's no concrete explanation as to how those 2,700 votes were not counted by the machine in the first place?
We don't know. I mean, we can't.
That's sad, bro.
Not in there anywhere. So we don't know why they didn't get scanned in there.
So have the Dominion tech guys that have been troubleshooting here all day been able to figure out why they weren't in there?
They're not allowed to comment.
They're not allowed to comment.
What? Dude, hold on. Hold on. We're talking about an election that literally decides the direction of our country and of your state, Georgia. Like, these elections literally decide the direction of your state, and you're there talking to people who work as election ballot counters, and they're basically being told they can't comment. What's going on, bro?
Dude.
Would this not be national news if it was, let's say this was I don't know, bro, what name a state that's extremely gonna vote for Trump? I don't know, Florida. A Trump stronghold, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Just imagine if this was the opposite, if it was turned around and this was about, votes for Biden, and this would be national news. This would be this would be plastered on CNN, NBC. You guys know all of the main stations.
90% negative coverage from Trump and 99% positive coverage of Biden and the left. We would slam this out of every radio wave on every screen across the country. But if it's the right, we're just not going to talk about it. We just don't talk about that. You just better stay quiet, yous. You know?
Right?
It's just,
But as of right now, you can also not confirm that it was a memory card or anything of that nature as well, right? Because that hasn't been confirmed to my knowledge by anyone here.
I don't think it was a memory card. I can almost, you?
I can almost guarantee
So it
you.
was, we can rule out.
We've seen videos of them passing around memory cards, handing them off, people going up to machines and back in like 2009, I remember there were videos with Diebolt voting machines from posted by Bev Harris at Black Box Voting, and they showed
Mhm.
people going into voting booths, closing the curtain and rigging the machine by opening it with picking it and putting in a USB card or SD card that would completely change how the machine operates. All within like a minute, you could rig these voting machines. And let's just remember, disclaimer, views expressed on Common Sense are only opinions. Do not assume anything we say is true. Research for yourself. We're not giving legal, medical, financial advice, anything like that.
None of that.
None of that.
None of that.
Just assume
None
we're
of that.
full of shit, you know?
This
For all you...
this show is strictly opinion based, okay, brother? Just to protect ourselves. Y'all know what we talking about. Y'all see what's going on in America. By just reporting certain things, you can get a federal indictment and be under investigation these days. So we have to protect ourselves. We got to protect ourselves.
I'm gonna make a banner that goes across the top of the screen that just says
big as hell.
Pop up the allegedly button.
Yo.
memory card that wasn't scanned.
Okay, it seems like it's human error.
It seems like it, but
what's
the evidence that would indicate it would be a human error issue?
The ballots didn't transfer over like they should have, and that could have been.
You mean human intentional error,
There you
so
go.
It also continued beyond 2020. In the 2022 primary election in DeKalb County, a county commissioner candidate moved from third place to first place after a hand count, which also surprisingly turned up an additional 2,810 ballots from the original machine count. What a coinkydink. Definitely not a pattern forming here.
Not at all. If you add all of those votes up together, that's close to 10,000 votes, bro. So I mean, remember what his words were, when they took a small cutout of what,
President Trump was saying.
11,000. I mean,
Something
that seems like close to 11,000 right there. But I mean, we'll basically never know. We'll basically never know. That, hopefully some things change. Did you hear about there was a journalist that's from Texas that reported allegedly that there was Hamas training grounds near the border of Mexico and Brownsville, Texas, and the federal agents have been knocking on her door and telling her that they don't feel comfortable having a phone conversation. Did you hear anything about that?
Not sure. It sounds vaguely familiar. Find something about it and we'll bring it up. I will bring up the next topic while you search if you want.
I got it pulled up.
Oh, you got it? All right.
Yeah.
Pop it up, man.
All right. So wanted to share this with you all. I'm pretty sure, everybody has pretty much seen it. It was reported last night. I'm going to unmute it.
I'm also an investigative
and we're going to start
journalist.
From the beginning.
My name is Sarah Fields. I'm a Texas activist, a constitutional government advocate. Here in Texas, I work in legislation. I'm also an investigative journalist for the Publica. What is happening to me and my family as Americans on American soil is not okay. A few weeks ago, the FBI showed up at my door. They did not want information about the stories that I share. They did not want further information or details about the information that I've shared about the border with boots on the ground experience. They wanted me to out my sources. After the first time they came to visit me, I wasn't here. They then called me on my cell phone later on that day. We didn't give them my cell phone number.
Damn.
And wanted further information about a specific story that I shared about a few weeks ago about a Hamas training camp across the border from Brownsville, Texas. I told them that I would never give them a source which would compromise and possibly place my source in danger, but that they were welcome to look up a conference that was held in 2021 where this exact thing was actually discussed. They then told me that they were uncomfortable talking about this on the phone and wanted to meet me in private. When is the FBI uncomfortable talking about something on the phone? Aren't we usually the ones who are uncomfortable because we think the FBI is listening? Needless to say, I did not go to their private meeting, and they have harassed my family ever since. They have showed up at my doorstep several times. They have called me. They have texted me, and I will not respond and I will not speak to them. I have been to the border multiple times since 2021. I have shared stories about women who are having their pregnant bellies cut open and babies left lying on the ground and being stuffed in their bellies and then sewn back up. Stories about portable ultrasound machines owned by the cartel, checking for women who are pregnant because then they are more valuable in a trafficking situation. And then recently, the story about the Hamas training camp where young men dressed in dark clothing were crossing over the river in the middle of the night to conduct training illegally here in the States and then heading back over the river to the camp once they were finished. That camp has now been moved to a different location or has been shut down altogether as of late 2021 or early 2022. But my source is never wrong, and my source is the one who provided me with that information. I would never provide a source to anyone, let alone a 3-letter agency that has been known to be weaponized against the right, especially in the last 3 years. Not only would I place my source in danger and compromise their position as far as their availability to be able to report from where they are, I would also lose the trust of the American people as a journalist. I would lose all integrity. I would also be playing the part in possibly silencing someone that is just trying to reveal the truth. I will never reveal a source to an alphabet agency that has no interest in protecting the constitutional rights of the American people. I'd rather you just put me in jail first.
Good for you. Damn, that's badass. And yeah, I'm done, dude. I am done with this. Bring home all of our soldiers, put them on the fucking border, and start inspecting every vehicle and every inch of fence. Yeah, capture.
I mean,
these people.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh no, that's
you know. I you guys know I live in Scottsdale, Arizona. Basically, it's a suburb outside of Phoenix. I basically live on the front lines. It's scary, bro. It's scary.
Dude.
My sister, she works at it's a cigar bar. It's a very prestigious cigar bar. And she said within the last 4 weeks there have been a lot of Middle Eastern men with a lot of money coming in every single day, every single night, drinking up a storm and smoking cigars. And I told her, she said out of the blue. And I said, you need to go get your concealed weapons permit and you need to protect yourself because we don't know who they are. They could be part of a sleeper cell. And it's fucked up that I got to say that, but you got to say that.
Right.
You have to.
Profiling is a legitimate science. It's done for a reason, and so we shouldn't be accused of stereotyping, because of traits and patterns that are seen in reality that are part of the profiling process.
Right, bro. You can look at my tattoos and you can tell, he used to be involved in some type of gang activity. I was. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not anymore. Would I be mad at anybody making that inference? You know what I'm saying? Because you're inferring something, right? Based upon what you see. Yeah, I was, but I'm not anymore. You know what I'm saying? And if you sit down and have a conversation with me, you'd be like, oh, okay, like he's a cool dude. Like he ain't no active gangman. No, I'm not. I don't.
I'm being held hostage to do this podcast. He's holding me hostage. Don't trust him.
Yeah, that lifestyle is total bullshit. I don't agree with it. I don't ascribe to it. I don't subscribe to it, and I don't even communicate with the people that live that lifestyle no more because
we
I
all
live a totally
evolve
different
as
lifestyle.
people, you know.
You know what I mean? So it's
grow.
like there's nothing wrong with being aware of your surroundings and saying, hey, there's like a lot of healthy mid-aged fighting age, Middle Eastern men, that are, visiting our place of business where I work at these days. And it's uncommon. It has not happened in the past. So,
all
what
of
does
a
that tell you?
sudden, yeah, that definitely says something. I feel like it might say something,
And like she said, like, yeah, they spend a lot of money. So where's the money coming from and who are these people? So
back when I
hey.
lived in Boston, I was doing valet while I was in school at Berkeley. And Berkeley College of Music, not to confuse it with Berkeley in California, the leftist hellhole. Berkeley with 2 E's, not with an EY. And I would be working at a few different places, and there was a lot of Middle Eastern people at these places too that had like tricked out Hummers and stuff that I would be parking around. And everybody knew at the time that was oil money. It was like, Qatar, Saudi Arabia type people. But if it's just happening out of nowhere, right at the same time when Hamas is known to be crossing the border, and then it's kind of suspicious. And,
right.
Good job telling her to get her pistol permit. And that was being reported by the Publica. Just for the record, that is the new News Done Right, the new outfit of Jeremy from The Quartering, Jeremy Hambly and Sydney Watson.
Great channel. Great channel.
Nice. You like
great channel. Oh,
yeah.
Bro, great channel. If you guys have not checked out, well, let me say, damn it. If you guys,
damn it, baby.
If you ladies, let me include everybody. If you ladies and gentlemen have not checked out The Quartering, please subscribe. He has a really good channel. He usually makes 15 to 30-minute clips, and he also goes live. Man,
pop
he
culture
comes out with
stuff.
he comes out with a lot of great information.
Yeah, and he has a second channel called Midwestly that's more of like political stuff. I don't know if it's still active. I haven't seen anything for a while from Midwestly.
Right.
But yeah, he teamed up with Sydney Watson, formerly of The Blaze, I believe, and stuff like that. And she's another popular YouTube commentator who I like a lot as well. She's from Australia. But yeah, check them out. Check out the Publica. They do a lot of good work. They're trying to do objective, unbiased news, and it's a pretty good site. How about we jump into another interesting topic?
Let's go.
We got Kevin McCarthy lashing out at the crazy 8 crazy Republicans who ousted him, wanting consequences for their actions, and Matt Gaetz issuing a brutal takedown response. So as we all know, the Gang of 8 stood up and refused to either they got McCarthy kicked out of the speaker role, and he's blaming them when it's his own fault for not sticking to the terms of the deal he made. Well, let's read a couple paragraphs here to get the background. Rep. Kevin McCarthy, Rhino, California. I like how instead of saying Republican California, they say Rhino, Republican in name only. And Whoopi Goldberg is a Gino, right? A Jew in name only.
Right. Exactly.
So, McCarthy remains quite angry at the 8 Republicans who voted to fire him as speaker and wants revenge. And members of the so-called Crazy 8 are responding by mocking him, especially Matt Gaetz. As Gateway Pundit previously reported, Andy Biggs, another awesome dude of Arizona, Ken Buck of Colorado, Tim Burchett, another good guy. He's involved with the UAP hearings and stuff. He's been pushing to get disclosure for UAP. I don't want to say UAP is like their rebranding. It's like collateral damage. No, UFO. We're sticking with the UFO.
Exactly.
At least I am.
Exactly.
You're free to speak as you like. But Eli Crane, Matt Gaetz, Bob Good, Nancy Mace, and Matt Rosendale got fed up with McCarthy selling out to Democrats and basically ousted him. Right. So McCarthy told interviewer Manu Raju that Republicans would benefit tremendously by no longer having Rep. Matt Gaetz as a member of their ranks. Though he allowed that the decision was up to the conference, he did warn that the conference would never heal unless there are consequences for the 8 who ousted him. And I disagree with the premise. There don't need to be consequences for ousting him. He faced the consequences for not living up to his deal. Those are the just consequences. Being ousted. He went on to trash Mace and Burchett, accusing them of being unserious legislatures. They care about press, not policy. Nonsense. He was dissing Burchett at the time, you may remember, because Burchett prayed on the decision whether he should vote to oust McCarthy or not. And and McCarthy came out and was attacking his faith for so that was the deciding factor. Once he did that, Burchett decided to vote against him, and so it's self-fulfilling prophecy there. So the Rhino continued to lash out, seemed okay with Democrat replacing Mace. If you watched her, just her philosophy and the flip-flopping, I don't believe she wins re-election. I don't think she will have earned the right to get reelected, he says. And let's check out this little video here with Manu Raju. He's got a cool name, but he works for CNN, so he's trash.
In that case, mentioning a lot. How much would the Republican?
Oh, come on,
if he
interwebs.
were no longer a member of the House, in your opinion?
Oh, tremendously. I mean, people have to earn the right to be here. And I just think he'll admit to you personally, he doesn't have a conservative bent in his philosophy and just the nature of what he focuses on.
Do you think the House GOP should consider expelling him?
Look, that's up to the conference, but I mean, I don't believe the conference will ever heal if there's no consequences for the action.
What about them surprised you, Burchett and Mace?
It just didn't, it seemed out of nature, but they seem to have changed during the time.
Yada, yada, we get it. He's a dick. He wants to get rid of Matt Gaetz. And let's jump to the cool part of this, which is Matt Gaetz just destroying him. Did you see this already?
I've been watching the show. I've been watching his show on X, but I have not seen the part where he responded.
I didn't realize he actually has a show. That's kick-ass. So yeah,
one person who's had to make a move is Kevin McCarthy, former speaker, and honestly, I hadn't thought about it.
Oh, come on, dude.
But it seems I'm on his mind. We're just getting this report from CNN.
Let's rewind that.
They asked McCarthy.
That was a little. We got interrupted by a lack of connection there for a second, but that was a dig right off the bat. I haven't been thinking about him much, but I seem to be on his mind. Yeah.
Right.
It was already buffed. Why is it? Why is it buffering again? This part was already loaded. Come on, internet. All right, I'm reloading the page. Screw it.
All right.
Take a couple seconds just to get back to the video. Apologize.
It's funny how he literally does not want to take responsibility for his actions. Just like, bro, they put special terms, on you being the Speaker of the House. You agreed to it. You didn't abide by the terms, and because of that, you're not the Speaker of the House anymore. Like, have some responsibility.
Yeah, what's so difficult to comprehend about that? Why you got to transfer your wrongdoings onto everybody else? Well, I think that's self-explanatory.
One person who's had to make a move is Kevin McCarthy, former speaker, and honestly, I hadn't thought about him in a while, but it seems I'm on his mind. We're just getting this report from CNN. They asked McCarthy if I ought to be thrown out of the Republican conference.
Talk about a leading question.
And he said that the GOP would be better off tremendously if I were no longer in the party. McCarthy, directly being quoted here, says, quote, he doesn't have a conservative bent in his philosophy, just the nature of what he focuses on. Matt's goal was his goal to be the TV congressman.
Are you kidding me?
I think if you go and line up the number of TV interviews I've had with the number that McCarthy's had, he was sort of the TV speaker in the absence of substance.
Confession through projection.
When I want to talk about budgets that balance, term limits, releasing the January 6 tapes, real accountability over the deep state, over the Biden family, they want to just say, oh, it's all personal. It's all personal, but they can't address the substance because they would be greeted a lot the way Carlos Jimenez's mention was greeted in Miami-Dade County. And here McCarthy again on whether or not he thinks the GOP should expel that Gaetz. Here's McCarthy. That's up to the conference. But I mean, I don't believe the conference will ever heal if there's no consequence for the action. Mr. Former Speaker, thoughts and prayers as you're going through all of your stages of grief here. I know that you mocked and made fun of Tim Burchett for praying about his decision to vote to remove you, but you're still in our prayers. And maybe if you didn't mock prayer and engaged in some, you would have better peace and comfort. And at the end of the day, we all expect Kevin McCarthy to go back and return to the people who he's always represented in Congress, on K Street, of course, not in Bakersfield. I don't think you'll be seeing him walking the streets of Bakersfield anytime soon. But the notion that the Republican conference is going to kick me out for doing something that was exceedingly popular seems unlikely. The decision to fire McCarthy and replace him with Mike Johnson has been popular. Popular with Democrats, popular with Republicans, popular with independents. It may be one of the most popular things House Republicans have done. Now, the potential with Mike Johnson is admittedly unfulfilled. I think we've got to give this guy the opportunity to lead. We've got to work with him. Where we disagree, we've got to present our ideas. We've got to demand that we be heard. We've got to seek not just process, but outcomes that advance the American people. And I know that's what Mike Johnson wants. But if what Kevin McCarthy wants is to make a motion to throw me out of the Republican conference, I guess all I can really say is bring the effing motion.
Oh, bring the effing motion. Look at him, his little grin there. Bring the motion, McCarthy. Bring it. You know what that reminded me of? This is like his Mike Tyson moment. Sign the contract, big boy. You remember that?
Hold on. I think Mr. Sapp is awesome. He has awesome physical power. But as I said before, if we fight in the Market of Queensbury, I love to fight him tonight. You heard the challenge from Mike Tyson. What do you have to say?
Hey, listen up here. Hey, they may call you Kid Dynamite. You mess with me, I'll put your fuse out.
No, not that one. This one is. Sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract.
Right? That's totally the energy that Matt Gaetz is giving off there.
Awesome, bro. Awesome.
I love Mike Tyson, dude. He cracks me up.
Yeah,
he's the most, most ruthless. He
Hey,
says
man.
some crazy stuff.
Good Lord, man. That's awesome, bro. That's great.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, it's extremely you don't see anybody on the left participating in their political party, which is the Democrats, the way that the right has people participating in their political party. It's so amazing that you literally have like 10 to 15 people that will willingly go on CNN and basically trash leaders of the GOP and their own party. It's like, why don't you just take the mask off and go over there? Stop calling yourself, stop saying you're a part of the GOP or the Republican Party. You're just basically a spy in the Republican Party for the people on the left. Like, just stop calling yourself a Republican, bro, and go over there.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to go to jail for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nothing's going to happen to you. They don't impose law on the left. They only do it to the right. So you're going to be safer if you go over there. Like, just go over there, bro. Like, we don't want you over here. What's the point? Why be why be something in only a name? Like, why be a Republican only a name? That means you're a fraud.
Yeah,
you're a
straight
fucking fraud. Why? Why do you want to
him
be?
and Ronna McDaniel and Mitch McConnell and all these people.
My God.
That's the thing.
Mitt
There's
Romney.
like right. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and Romney
people.
McDaniel. There's lots of fake Republicans out there, right? But there don't seem to be many fake Democrats. It's almost like the left is working to subvert the United States and sending sleeper cells into our side to infiltrate and destroy us from the inside.
Right.
Maybe people should start doing that to the left. I mean, it's too late for me. I couldn't go out there and be like, abortion's great, and collectivism is the best. Vote for me, and then destroy the system from the inside. It's too late for me because I've already spoken against it. Nobody would believe it. But if you're out there and you haven't spoken out publicly yet, maybe this is your chance to infiltrate your local Democrats. And you know what I mean? We got some more interesting election news over here. We're jumping back to Connecticut. Gateway Pundit reporting again, they're on top of all the election stuff. You can't make this up. Connecticut resident casts vote using grocery store bonus card as identification. In a display.
Hold up, bruh. Hold up, bruh. So you saying I can take my Safeway or my Fred Meyer's card and just, you can literally find one of those in the store that my fucking grandmother dropped when she was making her purchase to get her points, to get, somewhat of a, what do they call that? Discount.
Rewards
right? The rewards program. So you're saying if my grandmother drops her Fred Meyer's rewards card and she forgot that she dropped it, and nobody was kind enough to say, hey man, you dropped your card, and another, illegal or another citizen can pick that up and therefore go place a vote. That's what you're saying?
Basically, like that's the type of shit that goes on in Connecticut. And a lot of states you can like track your vote and see how your vote counted. Like you can look up your ballot number or whatever and make sure your vote was counted. Not in Connecticut, not where I voted. It's just a black box. You like literally a black box. You get your card, you fill it out. There's no identification of the ballot number or anything on the ballot that you can use to confirm the way your vote was cast. I sat there and examined the entire thing looking for any type of number or anything, nothing. And then you literally walk up to the front of the room and you put it into a black box, a machine that takes it in, and who knows what happens with it after that.
I mean, do they at least print you out a validation that, hey, you voted at this time and this date for this candidate?
Nothing. Dude. Nothing.
They don't even shoot you a damn text message or an email, bro.
No. Nothing, dude. There's nothing.
Damn.
Yeah, and even if they were to like say, "Oh, we checked you off the list, you voted," they wouldn't be able to tell you who you voted for because they hand you a random ballot with no identification number or anything. You fill it out, put it in, and it's not even tied to your name. So there's no way that anybody in at least my town in Connecticut can verify that their votes were counted accurately at all. It's literally just a black box that you trust to give you the right answers. Total criminality. So yeah, in a display of vulnerabilities present in Connecticut's voting systems, one of many, a Stamford man. And Stamford is like maybe the second most wealthy town in Connecticut. There's like Greenwich, Fairfield, and Stamford, like all right and near each other by New York City. Stamford is like ultra wealthy area. And they still can't get their elections right. Of course, in the richest areas, they want to manipulate the elections the most. So,
right.
Maintain power, I'm sure. But yeah, Stamford man recently cast his vote using a form of identification that would typically earn you a discount on groceries, a ShopRite Price Plus Club bonus card. The man, whose identity has not been released, approached the polling station with the intent to highlight the absurdities and the lack of integrity in the state's voter ID regulations, according to the Connecticut Sentinel. So this is not an accident. This is a guy who did this to make a point, which is pretty cool. Kudos to him for openly flaunting the law and putting himself in potentially a position to be arrested just to make a point to highlight the vulnerabilities. When asked for ID, he presented a grocery store points card. Initially, the polling station worker hesitated, unsure if the card could be accepted as a legitimate form of ID. How are you going to hesitate? I mean, are you like, you're so uneducated in the voting system that somebody will hand you just like a random piece of nothing and you're supposed to just assume that is accurate, or, like not a legitimate state ID or something like that. The card had no photo, only the man's name. So how are you even you know, like I handed over my driver's license. They at least asked for that in my town. So it, you know, at least it gives you the the guise that your vote means something, that they're keeping track of everything. But once it goes into the black box, it's, you know, any attempt to track or legitimize your vote is gone. However, after drawing the attention of other voters and staff, a senior staffer intervened and confirmed that the grocery store card was, in fact, an acceptable form of identification. You'd think that the senior staffer would say that this is, in fact, not an acceptable form of identification. Here we have the ShopRite card itself, with an authorized signature, ho 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 ho, which gives you no clue who this person is, where, you know, if they're even like an American citizen. You know, it's nothing. And this is not the first time the man has used unconventional ID forms to vote. In a previous election, according to Connecticut Sentinel, he used his debit card, which similarly lacks a photo ID. It's not that the man is without proper identification. He possesses a driver's license, but chooses to forego it in a deliberate attempt to showcase the laxity of Connecticut's voter ID laws. Laxity, nice word there. That's pretty good.
Right. I've actually never heard of. I've heard of laxative, but laxity. I've never
Lax
heard of
means
that word.
like relaxed. It's
I just never knew that laxity was actually a word that's in our English origin or in the dictionary. That was a good word. Awesome.
Yeah, totally. Gotta love that.
Yeah.
So according to the Connecticut Secretary of State's website, voting in the state using a grocery store bonus card is not legal. So like I said, he opened himself to arrest here to make a point, which is that's the type of
true sign of a patriot.
Yeah, and not like a protest, civil disobedience. That's the words that I'm looking for. That is a good form of civil disobedience. He has the ID. He can vote legitimately and legally, but he's doing this, breaking the law to make a point without violating anybody else's rights. People like Tim Pool, shots across the bow. Tim Pool, I'm taking shots at you here. He's okay.
Hey, hold on. Hey, bro, give me a second.
Sure.
Bro is gonna continue with y'all. I got to use the bathroom real quick. Mandy J, what's up?
What's up? So yeah, people like Tim Pool, who don't have a consistent philosophical foundation for their beliefs, they can simultaneously say that individuals have rights that are unalienable and must be protected, but that a legitimate form of civil disobedience is blocking traffic, which is completely unacceptable in my opinion. You're violating people's right of way, their right to the pursuit of happiness. You're putting people in danger who may have medical emergencies. For all you know, there could be an ambulance around the corner that you can't see because traffic is stopped. There could be a pregnant lady in the car who's trying to get to the hospital. Blocking traffic, unacceptable form of civil disobedience, in my opinion. So, Connecticut law requires voters to present non-photo identification while voting. I think it requires you to present photo identification. So they allow certain non-photo identification, including social security cards or any pre-printed form of ID that shows the voter's name and address, name and signature, or name and photograph. A grocery store bonus card would not meet those requirements. Examples of accepted forms of ID are driver's license, state ID card, passport, utility bill, bank statement, government check, paycheck, government document, which, I don't even like that. A bank statement, how does that prove that you're a legal citizen? A utility bill, how does that prove that you're a legal citizen of this country that's eligible to vote? We need to fix voting in this country big time. It's a major problem. If a voter does not have an acceptable form of ID, they can still vote by signing an affidavit attesting to their identity. At least you're putting yourself, you're swearing to the legitimacy of your statement in that case, opening you up to criminal repercussions if you are found to have committed fraud and lied in your affidavit. But still,
I believe that affidavit, they should also have a database of pictures of any person that takes that signs this affidavit. They should take a picture of that person. they should ask that person, what is your not your mailing address, what is your physical address, also date of birth and social security number, so they could therefore, after they get all of the votes, they can go through this whole database and make sure that everything matches up and make sure that you're not using somebody else's identification in order for you to vote. I think that would be a good idea. Have a database of people who sign this affidavit.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to keep track of them somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's jump to another election-related topic here. A white pill in this case, though, which is kind of an exciting concept. We're over here again at Gateway Pundit, who's on top of it. You know, credit where it's due. They are a huge source of information for me, and I hope that you will all use them as well, because they are doing really great work. And the article is, could we have the ultimate MAGA ticket in 2024? Donald Trump explains in an interview why he would consider picking Tucker Carlson as his running mate. You brought this up on our last episode, and we have more information now. I think it would be pretty hardcore.
That would be awesome, bro.
That would be nuts, dude. Could the ultimate MAGA ticket actually happen in 2024? As Trump continues to dominate Republican primary polls, attention will soon turn to who he will select as his heir apparent. Names such as Kari Lake, my love, Rep. Elise Stefanik, and South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem have been rumored for months, but yesterday, a couple days ago now, seemed to open up the possibility that Trump may select the one person who most closely hews to his populist America First principles. And it's arguable that there may be people who are more closely, because Trump is not, he's not perfect. But that man is none other than former Fox News host and now X/Twitter star Tucker Carlson. President Trump revealed during a radio interview with Clay Travis and Buck Sexton. Damn, doesn't get much cooler than that name, huh? Like that is a damn cool name. that he would consider picking Tucker as his running mate. He also gave some interesting reasons why he might make the choice. He first pointed out that his interview with Tucker during the first GOP presidential debate drew record ratings, and proceeded to say that they have the same common sense policies, especially when it comes to border security. And let's briefly talk about that, because yes, his interview with Tucker during the first GOP debate drew huge numbers of people, but they were taking just the number of impressions, because Elon changed the way Twitter works. Usually it used to show impressions and then legitimate views of content, like how many people click on it and watch the video. Lately, they've just been showing impressions, at least during the time period when this took place. So it showed like 200 something views, but really it was just 200 people saw it as they were scrolling by. We don't know how many views there were, how many people watched it all the way through, but it was reported as if it was straight up views. So that is a little bit of a misleading statement, although there's no question the debate got under 10-12 million viewers max, whereas Trump's interview was tremendous. So let's jump in here and see what the man himself has to say.
Would you consider Tucker Carlson on your VP list? I want to give you a hypothetical here. You're a big sports fan. Like Nick Saban's going to retire at some point. And if you talk to the athletic director at Alabama, he would say he has a list. So would Tucker Carlson be on your list of potential VPs? And how many names might be on that list as you sit and look and survey the political field?
Well, first of all, I did my first, you could call it counter programming, but I won't call it that. But Tucker wanted to do an interview during the first debate.
Some people say he's a fat pig. I won't say that. It's like he says what he wants to say, but just says other people say it, which is hilarious. Sorry, just had to pause because that's so funny.
Call it that. But Tucker wanted to do an interview during the first debate. And I think because this is what your business is. We broke every record
monster
in history. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it just hit over 300 million people. But it was for that evening over 207 million. It then got to 275 within a day or two. And the biggest ever was Oprah's interview with Michael Jackson, which was 125 million. So we almost doubled it. Now, who would have thought that was going to happen? The last debate they had the lowest audience in the history of presidential debates. I don't know if you know it. And I think the one tonight it's on tonight. And I don't even talk about it.
Would you consider Tucker, though, that they based on those
I
numbers?
like Tucker a lot. I guess I would. I think I'd say I would, because
look at him smiling
he's got
together
great
here.
Common sense. You know, when they say that you guys are conservative or I'm conservative, it's not that we're conservative. We have common sense. We want to have safe.
That's a great thing to point out too. It's not that we're conservative. It's that we're American. We can think logically, and we figured out the system that works, and people are trying to shut it down because they're growing up in fascism and not capitalism. The American system is not active right now, but people on the left are programmed to think it is and that it's bad. In fact, we've had the merger of government and corporations for decades, which is destroying the country and destroying the marketplace. So we have fascism right now. We don't have capitalism, and people who think that capitalism is bad because of what's going on right now are tragically misled, and through logic could potentially be turned to our side if it's properly explained to them. Let's continue.
Borders. We want to have a wall because walls work. You know what, Ron, I used to say about walls? I'd say wheels and walls. Everything changes. The computer that you have in front of you in about a month from now will be totally obsolete. Right now, you have the finest equipment in the world.
Speaking of which, since I'm glitching so much, I ordered new parts. They're on the way. The glitches will be fixed by mid next week, probably.
And in about a month from now, that equipment will be obsolete. The only two things for centuries that's not obsolete are wheels and walls, right?
There's one more. Precious metals, which have held their value for over 2,000 years. A gold ounce coin would get you a nice pair of leather sandals, a leather belt, and a toga back in ancient Rome, like the top dress of the day. And now a gold coin, $1,900 will get you a fancy suit, a fancy pair of shoes, and a nice belt. You know, the same type of
system, bro.
Yeah, it's held its value.
Yeah.
So that's one more thing to add to the list there, Mr. President, which is important too, because knowing that could change everything for people.
Oh, when you think about it, right? A wheel will always be a wheel. It's never going to change. And a wall will always be a wall.
And
walls
work.
No, walls work. Remember when they were saying walls don't work?
Yeah.
Remember walls?
Joe Biden's got a wall at his beach house, by the way.
Yeah, and he does. And by the way, there are a lot of other walls. Nancy Pelosi has a wall also. And if she didn't have a wall, of course, it didn't work that well with respect to the husband. But, generally speaking, it would work.
Hey, it didn't work that well.
Yeah, with Pelosi, is that what he's talking about? I was looking at my list over here. Yeah, and did you see recently? Yeah, you saw the news that came out that the hammer wielding guy, dude, hanging out with Mr. Pelosi in his underpants. I don't want to say that there was pony play going on there, but it's possible that there was pony play going on over there. Have you heard of pony play before? Yeah, I'm not going
to. Hey, bro, there's some stuff that came out to say that guy was a pedophile and he was tied to some very powerful pedophiles, and that, allegedly there was some play going on that Pelosi knew about, and the situation just got out of hand. I don't know what those people got going on, but I mean, you answer the door, he's in his drawers, you know what I'm saying? You coming with me or you gonna stay with Nancy? Which one is it? I don't know. I'm just saying, allegedly, that's what hey man, there were some weird type of suits that he had in his car.
Go ahead, continue. It's fine. How's anybody supposed to Yeah, this is the type of stuff, and everybody's free to explore sexuality in their own ways, as long as they're not involving children or violating anybody's rights. But at the same time, we have the rights to ridicule them and to point out that these people are not necessarily well. And, Sam Brinton, remember him, the head of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission or whatever it was, brought in by Biden, who is into dog kink and puppy play. He got arrested for stealing luggage in airports and wearing the clothing that he stole. here he is here with his dog kink fetish, and this is a guy that was, holding a big important position in the Biden administration, and he was stealing luggage. There was some famous African designer, or maybe Caribbean, I can't remember. Like a designer who makes her own clothing and everything, and she has like one of a kind, unique pieces. And Sam Brinton is flying through Washington D.C. and Nevada or something, and he's just scooping up random people's luggage from the baggage retrieval area, and he got arrested after it came out that I think this is one of the items of this lady's clothing. Yeah, stealing women's clothing. This is one of her unique pieces of clothing and jewelry that she made, and he stole it, got busted. And that podcast Fleckus Talks that I like to bring up, they actually managed to somehow get the pair of handcuffs that were used to arrest Sam Brinton. Dre over there. I'm sorry for the eye aids. It's eye aids. I know it's brain aids, but
bro, look, yo, bro. So he was in charge of the nuclear sector, like.
Yeah, he was. I can't remember what his exact title was. Biden's pick for nuclear waste job. Yeah, he had. Let's see. He was like in charge of nuclear waste disposal, and he lied about enduring conversion therapy torture. I believe that it was all a fraud, allegedly. He's big into pup play and worships Daddy Fauci. So those are that's the caliber individual that are being chosen to handle our nuclear waste. It doesn't make me feel nervous at all about the safety of the disposal of the nuclear waste. I'm sure that he's totally sane and can handle it perfectly well. There's nothing wrong here.
Bro, if I can't come to work and leave like a pair of fresh drawers and socks in my work locker, like, nigga, I don't want to be around you. I'm sorry, bro. Like, what in the fuck? Like, I got one sock, one leg, not the whole pair of drawers, just the right leg on my drawers missing. The undershirt, you know what I'm saying? Man, what in? All right.
What in tarnation?
I'm sorry. I don't know, bro. That shit different. But if y'all look into the story about the hammer-yielding maniac at Mrs. Pelosi's house, he had some odd stuff that was found in his vehicle. I'm just saying, and costumes and all kinds of weird shit was found in his vehicle. So, hey, do what you please on your personal time, but there's something more to that story. Also, Mrs. Pelosi was just given a subpoena in a criminal case, which is this same case. They probably found out exactly what's going on, and she got to testify that she basically know and approves of what her husband does on his free time and was she involved. That's probably what they want to know, allegedly.
Yeah, pretty crazy. She had like somebody in Congress read out a declaration that she had written about how she
was just subpoenaed in a criminal case. Yeah, that was so odd.
Very strange.
And then the person read it as if she was like Nancy Pelosi, like Nancy Pelosi, and I'm looking at him like, you was a black woman in your 30s. You was not Nancy Pelosi. Like,
Nancy's doing blackface. Damn.
Yeah, like what in the hell is going on? So
pulled out the Trudeau tip book.
Yeah, man. It's just exciting. It's a lot of exciting things that's going on. Again, this is not, true. Y'all should take this as us just shooting the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Basically. We're not defaming or slandering anybody. Assume everything we're saying is false.
No,
just assume
we
it's
ain't got
false.
we damn sure ain't got Nancy Pelosi lawyer money. So we just want to say that this is allegedly. But the stuff that they found in his car is not allegedly. This is reported from the people themselves. Like, this is not allegedly. This is real shit. This comes
The
from
unicorn blow up costumes.
Yeah, the unicorn blow up costumes. They found 2 of them in his car. So that's not a lie. That's just true. So,
dude, it's so weird. It's so weird. What is Paul Pelosi doing over there, man? I gotta get that out of my mind somehow. Let's do it by jumping into our next topic with James O'Keefe kicking major ass, continuing kicking ass with OMG. OMG, James O'Keefe. And here we have Mrs. Gina's shock. The mystery behind her $154,000 in political contributions that she doesn't seem to remember doing. Let's hear what OMG has to say about this. Let's get her reaction. Cool architecture here with these triangular windows. I like that. I like that.
I wonder what symbology they have or what they would actually mean.
Oh yeah. Well, who knows? Yeah. I mean, she's, she didn't make the donations herself, so I wouldn't necessarily read anything negative into it. But a lot of like symbols that are have power and are inherently benevolent or benign have been hijacked by like sinister occult organizations and co-opted to have negative meanings. Things like pyramids, unless there's like a specific association with the dark occult, I wouldn't necessarily read in any negative connotations. But yeah, let's jump into this because this is wild stuff, and this is not the first time he's exposed this. They've gone to a number of houses with a number of people in the past couple of years and had lots of people say that I didn't make those donations.
Did you donate 8,000 times?
8,000.
Why is that an issue?
Well, it doesn't seem possible that you donated that many times.
You're right. It doesn't, so that's actually disturbing.
We're investigative reporters. We're just trying to figure out there's some fraud happening. This is your name on the FEC website.
I can't imagine that I did that. That's like impossible.
That's impossible.
It's impossible.
My name is James O'Keefe. Have you heard of that before?
Yes, I have.
You've heard of James O'Keefe?
Yes. Wait. James O'Keefe.
Come in? Yeah, I'd come in. Yeah. There's this data that we got from this man in Wisconsin who compiled all the FEC data, and your name in New Jersey was the top one. You remember our Act Blue story from March about tons of mysterious cash being funneled into Democratic campaigns by unwitting donors? Well, we just learned that the Republican counterpart to Act Blue, Win Red, is apparently in on it too. Data we obtained from the Federal Election Commission seems to suggest that countless unwitting campaign donors are giving huge amounts of money to various candidates. But they're doing it in thousands of small transactions spread throughout the year. What exactly are they hiding? We decided to pay a visit to the most active political donor in the state of New Jersey.
This is big too, because if the Win Red is in on it also, it's just more evidence of the uniparty and how they're funneling cash to establishment. This is like a major money laundering operation. Let's make this
call
clear.
it what it is.
Yeah, they have tons, billions of dollars that they want to use to support their candidates, and they can't because they can only donate so much. So they steal people's identities and make a whole lot of fake donations with their identities to launder money into political races. So that's what's going on here.
And bro, just think about this, right? Like, what if let's say you make 70 grand a year, right? But then your name has been used to say you made $154,000 in political contributions. That looked like tax evasion, my brother, my sister. That could get somebody in some real, bro, that's this type of shit should throw somebody in federal prison for at least 10 years. Right. That is messed up, bro. Like, they could say, she only makes this much, but she's putting this. And like, how is she going to prove, that's an elderly woman. Respect to all my elderly men and brothers and sisters who lived in America, because they paved the way for us to be here, regardless if you like it or not, they did. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine if that put her in a bind of like any type of bind financially with the IRS, like
the feds showing up at her door. Feds could show up at her door like they did with that chick earlier, in that video you showed. Yeah, and she's clueless. She doesn't know about the digital system. So how's she going to possibly defend herself? It's brutal, dude. It's totally brutal.
According to Federal Election Commission data, try to figure out what's going on. This retired education administrator told me she gives a few bucks here and there to WinRed a couple of times a month. There's this data that we looked at from this man in Wisconsin who compiled all the FEC data, and your name in New Jersey was the top one. Listen to this. The FEC says Alexandra Gina gave $75,000 last year, donating a total of 10,355 times. They say in 2021 she gave $61,000 to candidates in 5,700 separate donations. So far this year, the FEC says Gina has given $16,798 in 2,486 separate donations. What does the FEC say she's donated in the past 3 years? Just over $154,000. But Gina denies this. How many times do you think you've donated? Is it 100 times? Is it 20 times? Is it just order of magnitude? Did you donate 30 times in 2 days?
I don't know. I don't think so.
It gets weirder. On May 21st of this year, FEC data seemed to indicate that Ms. Gina apparently gave 3 separate Republican causes a donation of 5 cents apiece.
Those are small. In terms of the number of donations, yes, they are separate, but they're part of one solicitation.
We reached out to a number of people and didn't get many answers. We tried WinRed, we tried the head of WinRed, we tried the FEC in Washington, but neither would explain these discrepancies or where the money is actually coming from. In fact, no one really wanted to talk about it at all. It sounds like WinRed and ActBlue are attributing thousands of dollars in contributions to unwitting donors and funneling them to political campaigns and multiple micro donations spread throughout the year. Alexander.
And this is stuff that's like only possible now with like the whole digital architecture of you know, the financial system. And I mean, I guess it's possible they could have done it back in the day, but it's so much easier now just to hijack people's identities and set a computer algorithm to just make all these donations and spread them across the board. They probably have it all rigged up so where they just toss some money in an account and it automatically disperses. They're just a whole bunch of identities that they've already gotten set up and prepared to go. Dude, it's just crazy stuff, right?
It's extremely well thought, planned out, and yeah, it's whoever is behind the algorithm to make this stuff happen is very ingenious. You know what I'm saying? It's just I wish that they would use their time to ensure that our elections were done fairly and straight across the board on both sides. It's sad that they use all of their time and energy to do something illegal at this big of a proportion. It's worrisome. I'll tell you that. Extremely worrisome.
Extremely worrisome. So let's jump into another worrisome topic. This is there's plenty to go around, right? This is an interesting one. Judge Chutkan, the niece, I think, of communists, literal like Cuban communists.
How can you waive attorney-client privilege? That's illegal. What?
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like all these judges are just doing illegal stuff. Like in General Flynn's case, the prosecution dropped the case and the judge was like, oh, well, I'm not going to drop it. And the judge brought in their own prosecution to continue the case. Completely illegal. No precedent in American jurisprudence. It's just like the default against Alex Jones, the judgment notwithstanding against Trump to default him in New York. They're just breaking the law, constantly. That's what they do. So Obama appointed Judge Tanya Chutkan, partially granted a motion filed by Jack Smith's prosecutor.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, dude, it's getting wild, man. And ordered Trump to say if he will use advice of counsel defense in the January 6th case. In August, Trump was hit with 4 counts in Jack Smith's January 6th case up in D.C. Conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction of and attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, and conspiracy against rights, all of which are complete nonsense. In October, Jack Smith filed a motion asking for Trump to state his defense strategy.
You can't do that. You're
and
freezing
advice
up,
of counsel defense at trials. Such a defense in court. Oh, I'm freezing up.
No, you good now.
Damn it. All right. All right. Yeah, the
You
freezing
good
will
now.
end soon. When a defendant invokes such a defense in court, he waives attorney-client privilege for all communications concerning that defense, and the government is entitled to additional discovery and may conduct further investigation, both of which may require further litigation and briefing. I've never heard that you can. I mean, obviously, you could waive anything, but I hadn't heard that this would automatically waive that privilege.
You want me to state what my turn, how I intend to defend myself? Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, this whole thing is crazy, dude. So, accordingly, Chutkan partially granted Smith's motion. Quote, accordingly, the government's motion for formal pretrial notice of the defendant's intent to rely on advice of counsel defense, ECF number 98, is hereby granted in part and denied in part, Chutkan wrote in a 3-page order. Trump may be forced to give up attorney-client privilege if Judge Chutkan allows jurors to consider if Trump's, quote, reliance on his attorneys raises doubts about criminal intent. What? Just like, I don't even know what to say about all this.
I don't.
It's just ridiculous.
This is bullshit. Attorney-client privilege is like one of the main it's like one of the main holdings that we hold on to as Americans when we defend ourselves in a fucking courtroom. That's attorney-client privilege. Nobody outside of this scope is privy to that information. That's what protects me and allows me to defend myself in court. You want me to waive that? You want me to tell you what our strategy is on how we plan to defend ourselves? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, exactly. What is going on? What is going on? This whole situation is completely out of control. How about something a little bit more lighthearted? You know, you want to watch some bread rise?
See some bread cook.
Piss me off.
That motherfucker. Oh, bust it down with the cheese on the top. Oh, look at it. Oh, look at that motherfucker rise. Look at that motherfucker rise. Look at that motherfucker rise. Oh, look at them bitches right there. Oh, boss. Them bitches are boss. Them bitches go on. That's so fun. Oh, okay. I like the way this. Damn, I know that bitch good. That's that one Aladdin stole. He took off running with that bitch.
That's the one Aladdin stole.
What them is? Some little cinnamon rolls to the side? What them is? Oh, shit. They had Little Caesars, man. Damn, we at Subway now. Bust it in. Bust it in. Oh, what them? Oh. Give me what? Damn! Brody in on a bitch. Fuck is you talking about? Oh, they damn. Y'all want to see some bread cook?
I just thought that was funny, you know. Gotta bring in a little comedy every once in a while, right?
Yo, yeah. So we at the hour and a half mark. You know, a show this evening. Got some more stuff with the family to do.
Nice.
Should be back around like 6:30, 7 my time, which would be about 8:39 your time.
Nice.
But that last topic that we covered, man, they actually asking this man, bro, to waive his attorney-client. I would tell him I'm not doing it. Just go ahead and lock me up for contempt of court.
He should, man, because with the Secret Service, in order to lock him up, they would have to evacuate like a whole floor of a prison, right? And the Secret Service would be in there with Trump, you know, just sitting in his chair, and it would just be such a huge inconvenience to the system. He should do it just to punish them.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, President Trump, man, please don't do it. Just go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead, bro. You know, and like, is there any Supreme Court judge who has came out and said like, this is nonsense? This, bro, when this case gets to the Supreme Court, like, I hope Judge Chutkan or whoever I hope she loses her right to be able to sit on the bench. You're a fraud, Judge Chutkan.
It's completely absurd. Completely absurd. And yeah, thank you to everybody for being here. Gator says, I know you guys can't do it during live, but if you get a chance, go up the chat and check out the link to the freeway fire from last night, early this morning. Unbelievably worse than and that's as far as I can see. Yeah, I will check the link for that, and we will look into it for later tonight. But yeah, all right, let's wrap it up so you can go handle the business, the family stuff. And yeah, if you want to go live again later, just let me know and I'll put some more stuff together and have some fun. And sorry for the visual herpes earlier. But yeah, craziness. All right. So yeah, go do your thing and we will be back later. Follow us on X at _common censored, at Truckfit LLC, at Mortis _Noctu. And we're going to be streaming on Rumble soon. You can see we put our Common Censored branding up in the corner here. We've upgraded on StreamYard, sorry. So we will be multicasting to various places very soon. And that will be fun. Stay tuned and we will update you guys with all the information on that. All right. Wrapping it up. Any final words, Dre?
Yeah, I see some new names in here. We would appreciate it. Well, first of all, thank you for coming and supporting us. And if you can, man, we would appreciate if you guys like and subscribe. Most certainly, if you would subscribe, we would definitely appreciate that.
Definitely. And Corey Sofer brings up the Epic Times, which is fantastic. Great reporting. They're big into exposing the Chi-Coms. Roman Balmakov is the man. Facts matter. And yeah, Kim Clements. I've heard about the prophecies, the Trump prophecies relating, I think, with Kim Clements. So we're going to have to check that out as well in the near future. They're turning the frogs gay. And yeah, I need a T-shirt saying Alex Jones was right too, Mama Mac. I thought I had one, but I must have got the Trump one shirt instead. It's interesting you say conspiracy realist shirt because people are saying that now. But I put that on my business card in 2008. When I was going to Ron Paul rallies and stuff. I had my regular name on one side, then my rap alias on the other side, and under my regular name it had like all these things that I do, and one of them was conspiracy realist. So I'd like to think I made that up, but who knows, somebody probably did it before me. But yes, we will be back in in a few hours. Food porn. I'm just seeing these latest comments now.
Yeah.
Hit the like button. Thank you.
Most definitely.
Indy, thanks everybody for being here. Yeah, Roman's the man. Corey wants to connect. Hit up Dre on X at Truckfit LLC. TRUKFYT LLC right here. Truckfit LLC. And I'm sure he will check to see what you have to say. And all right, I'm dragging this out way too long. I don't know what I'm doing. All right. See you guys later. Have a great Saturday until later on, and we will reconvene in the future. Later, everybody.